Hey y'all, hope you guys are having a good day today. I'm going to share with you my review on The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I did receive this book as an advanced reader copy. I'm really excited about that. So before we get any further, thank you NetGalley, thank you William Morrow for sending me this ARC early so I could read it in exchange for my unbiased review. Okay, me receiving this ARC did not impact me on my review, as you will see as we continue doing this review. Okay, it did not change my mind or anything like that. So if you don't know what the Midnight Feast is about, basically in my words, how I would describe the Midnight Feast is pretty much about how everyone has a secret. Your past will definitely come back to get you. Like, the past doesn't stay buried, okay? And everyone has a secret. That's pretty much it. But really, you know, you have Francesca, who is now inherited the manor, and she's decided to turn this into like a resort type of situation. And she, you know, she does this in a place where she's not really a local. Like, whether you're a local or not plays a major part in this novel. So she's not a local now. She wasn't a local 15 years ago, which we're often flashback to. And the locals aren't really happy about, you know, just how this manor, this resort has pretty much cut off all connection to the locals. It's kind of like locals stay out or whatever. Oh, and if you hear the fan back there, it's, I don't know, I like it cool, but I also like to be in my comfort, you know what I mean? So if you hear the fan oscillating, that's why. Actually, let me go turn off this fan because I don't want it to. Okay, where were we? So yeah, and it's pretty much about how Francesca's past and everyone's past, and being a local versus a non-local, and what that looks like, what that feels like, how that plays a part in present day. So there are multiple POVs. I mean, we have Eddie, Bella, Owen, Francesca majority of the time. We also have D.I. Walker coming in, and then we also have summer journal entries that are sprinkled throughout, and all that jazz. So I don't know. Yeah, so again, what did I like about it? I liked the writing style. I understood where Lucy Foley was going with this story. Like, I get it. I also, it's kind of hard because I appreciate how things tied together at the end to where it made sense. You know, the questions you had, you will have answers for them. So that's great too. But it's kind of hard for me because I did not like this novel. I rated it a 2-star. Not even gonna hold you. Yeah, so stay tuned because after I get my review, I'm actually going to share clips of my like reading vlog for this, my reading check-in, so you can see how I felt in real time as I was reading it. But I rated it a 2 out of 5. I rated it a 2 out of 5. I feel like really at the 50 to 67% mark, I was just ready to get to the ending, and not in a good way. I read thrillers and mysteries and high action fantasy and things like that because I love the action, I love the story, and I love being like wanting to know what happens at the end so bad that that's like my motivation to get to the end, but I'm savoring every second of it, if that makes sense. In this point in time, reading this book, I was ready just to be done with it because I didn't dislike it enough to DNF it, but I was like, okay, let's hurry up, let's get on with it. So yeah, I did not. So why did I not like it? Well, that's really a good question. I feel like the first third was good, probably. I feel like it was good. I like multiple POVs. I like trying to put pieces together. I like figuring things out about the characters and how it played to the bigger story. I really enjoyed that part. It's like the middle is just not what I wanted it to be. I feel like there's even a scene that happened and it was a pointless scene. Like, it was pointless to me. I remember reading it and thinking like, why did we do that? Like, why? It was just a little bit irritating, but not like a big major thing that kind of turned me off. I'm just like, it was like the middle and the birds. I kind of wish, even though we figure out who one of the birds are or who the birds are, I'm not really satisfied with the ending. I think that's another thing. I wasn't really satisfied with the ending. I think it could have been a way shorter of a story. Yeah. Oh, also there's multiple timelines. So you are going to be like one day before the solstice, one day before the midnight feast, and then you're going to have the journals from 15 years before, and then you're going to progressively go through, you know, the day before, the day of, and then you have sprinkled in the day after the solstice. And as confusing as it might sound, it really wasn't confusing. I feel like the multi point of views were not confusing. I still think it was a pretty easy read, but it left much to be desired. It didn't thrill me. By the time I got done with the book, I just did not care anymore. I don't know. I really think the middle third could have just been removed entirely and I wouldn't care, because after a while I started feeling like, okay, we're describing this party too much. We're describing this a little too long. We're describing this, describing that. Like, let's get on with it. Let's move on. Like, I get it. There's birds. Beware the birds. I got it. You don't have to like beat that down in me. Like, I get it. Like, I read it. Like, I get it. And if anything, even though I know who the birds are or who the bird was, like, I wish there was more of like why. Sorry, AC's on, so we're just gonna roll with it. I just wanted to know, like, why was the birds a thing? Like, just more, I don't know, like if it talked more maybe culturally of the significance and like what they represent. It just felt a little flat on that end, but it just wasn't my thing, yo. It just wasn't. And I was hoping I would really like this book because I never read a Lucy Foley book. I've heard great things, but and the writing style was great. I see exactly what she was trying to do and what she was going for, as far as this goes. But it made me feel irritated with the constant bird talk. It made me, and then I started dreading the summer journal entries too. Like, every time I would see summer journal entries, I'm like, God, what? I feel like that probably what also made it feel drawn out at times. It's like it's not until the last third-ish, to where it feels like these journal entries have purpose. I did not care for those journal entries. Now, could you read the book and skip the journal entries? No, because it does play an integral part at the end, but it kind of tells you that. I don't know. So basically, this is an ARC, so I'm not really sure how much different the published version will actually be. At the time of this recording, it's not out yet, but it does come out June 18th, which hopefully this will be up by then. So I haven't had a chance to double check the published version to see how different it could be. I don't imagine it being drastically different, but I did want to make that note there that this is an advanced reader copy, and so until things are published, things could change. So yeah, I rated it a 2-star. 1 star slash, okay, I think my levels are like DNF, like I did not finish, so forget rating it at all. 1 star is like I regret reading it kind of thing, like I really had to push myself through that one. 2 is like, you know, there's things maybe I liked about it, but there's also a lot of things that I did not like about it, or maybe I still wish I didn't read it. 3 is like, it's a decent story, it's good. I really don't have many complaints, if any, but it still wasn't for me. 4 was like, this was a great story. I maybe even enjoyed it, but maybe something just didn't quite resonate with me, or maybe just one complaint, something like that. It was a great story. 5 stars, like, blew it out of the park. I would reread this. I'm definitely can't wait to own this. Like, I love the story. Very minimal, if any, complaints. I think that's how my rating is going to go. And this is definitely a 2 because I did enjoy the writing style. I do enjoy how Lucy Foley writes based on this, but I don't like the pacing all the way with the story. Like, I feel like I get what you're trying to accomplish. I don't like how it was done. So yeah, I don't know if that was helpful, but make sure to check out my reviews in real time on Goodreads and on Storygraph. I posted on there, and as well as this one is also on NetGalley as well. So make sure you follow me on those platforms. The links are in the description box down below. I would love to have friends on there too. But then you get to see my reviews in live time, in real time, because as soon as I was done reading this, I was like, yes, off to the review while it's fresh on my brain. So yeah, so stay tuned, because I do have clips of my reading vlog, so you get to see what I really thought in real time. There may be spoilers in there, but I'm going to probably just not tell you how it ends. So if you do want to still read this book, I suggest that you go read it. Even though this book wasn't for me, you might still actually really enjoy this book. So, you know, support your local library, rent it, use the Libby app, do things like that so you can read it and see if it's worth your coin and worth you buying it. I would say I would not recommend buying this book on a whim. Sorry to tell you that, but support your local libraries, please. Use the Libby app. I am not 100% sure if this will be on Spotify as an audiobook, but if so, utilize that too before you invest in this, because this story did not keep me invested. But yeah, anyway, stay tuned for the reading blog. Hey y'all, so it's time for me to get into this reading vlog, because I decided that I want to share my thoughts every quarter along the way in real time of me actually reading this book, because sometimes when you're done reading a book, you know exactly how it made you feel, but like not how you might have exactly felt along the moment. So yes, I got this book as a advanced reader copy, so I want to say a special thank you to NetGalley and HarperCollins Publishing for allowing me to read this book in advance and to give my unbiased review, basically. So ooh, here's the book I'm reading, The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. Again, it's an advanced reader copy, so thank you again. I've never read a book by Lucy Foley before. I was going to read the Paris Apartment, I was going to read the Guest List, and I just didn't I just didn't do either one of those, but now I get to read it. So this is my first impression of Lucy Foley's work, and I have just finished the first 25%. So might have to pull up my notes, y'all, because I don't know how I feel about it. Okay. So basically, I gather we are in the UK during this book. You start out in the woods, and you start out with the prologue. This is not going to be a super detailed retelling, because I still want you to not be spoiled when you decide to go read the book. If you have any interest in any book, whether I like this in the end or not, I still want you to go read the book, because everyone's reviews are personal to them and depends on you individually. So whether I like this book or not, don't let that deter you from giving it a try, especially if you have been interested or looking forward to it. Definitely go ahead and read it, and then let me know what your thoughts are about it. But yeah, so let's just go through the characters here. We have multiple POVs all up and through this thing, okay? So, I mean, we have Bella, we have Eddie, we have Francesca, we have Owen. Am I missing anybody? Not yet. I think there's more people coming up later. But the thing is, I'm trying to keep them all straight, and even though I'm only at 25%, I'm like, okay, so what's going on with Bella? So Bella, from what I gather, is what I'm gathering is everyone has a secret and a low-key some sort of tie to each other, because Bella's not even who she says she is. She's not. And I feel like this is slanted. Sorry, y'all, if this is slanted. Just real life vlogging moment here. Just bear with me. Okay. Bella is not even who she says she is. I think she lied to her family about like where she was going. I think she's a receptionist for real estate. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. Anywho, and there's journal entries in here. And then let's go to Eddie, because that's the first like real interaction. You have Bella and Eddie. I still feel like this is slanty pants. Are we not slanty? I will try to fix that in post. Sorry, y'all. Just roll with me as a vlog, okay? So Eddie. Eddie is like this 19-year-old dishwasher aspiring bartender, and he's very like the gentle giant. He's very like timid. He doesn't know how to say no. He doesn't really know how to hold his ground. But I have a feeling that might change, because he does say a line about like, you know, having a limit, and maybe he's never reached that point yet. Speaking of Eddie, we also get a glimpse into his history, you know, kind of more so of him in the up front, because mom and his dad was out all night. Like, what is his dad doing? Like, no one knows what his dad's doing. But okay, so they're going to be spoilers all through these, because I can't really talk about each step without some spoilers. But I don't want to do a detailed retelling, okay? No, I want you to go read the book. I don't want to do a detailed retelling, but spoiler alert. So maybe, I don't know, read the book and then check back in, depending on where you are in the book, and then we can have a conversation about that. But basically, I'm gathering that the old man that was dead in the beginning of the book is Francesca's dad, granddad, one of them, somebody from her camp. But there's something about these birds. Beware of the birds. Birds, black feather, white cockerel. There's something about these birds, and it's something about the woods. And it's like a local, you know, thing that everyone knows about. Is, you know, do you believe it, do you not, kind of thing. I don't know what the birds do. I don't quite know what the birds represent, but you better be beware of those birds. Michelle is like a supporting character, and I do not like Michelle. Something's not right with Michelle. I don't feel right with Michelle. She is like, she reminds me of that lady on Matilda, that like gym coach lady, you know who I'm talking about, with the chocolate cake business. The way that she's written in this book, that's who Michelle reminds me of. And how she kind of treats Eddie, like, get him to do her dirty work. It's like, oh, go tell those kids on the beach, like, skedaddle, scram, get out of here. And those kids on the beach turns into people that, you know, Eddie knows. And meanwhile, Eddie also lied. Eddie lied on his job application on where he even lived, okay? Something about the locals and trying not to be a local. Francesca's not a local, but I feel like with those journal entries that Bella had or refound, I feel like they know each other some kind of way. See, there's also sorts of confusion in the beginning. You're just trying to get to the bottom of it. But then we meet, I believe, Nathan Tate, who is your typical asshole, okay? But I need to start taking more detailed notes, because now I'm realizing, okay, so that's Nathan Tate, but we also find or get introduced to a Graham Tate through the journals. Anywho, so the first 25%, I don't even know really quite what's going on exactly. I know beware of those birds. I know someone left a bird on Francesca and Owen's like little property, because Owen and Francesca are married, and Owen seems like he just got wrapped up into doing his architect business for this manor, for this property, and Francesca is also a lie. I feel like everyone has some sort of secret in this book. So hopefully it hits even harder when it all comes together, because Francesca is like the spiritual guru. Everything always works out for me. I'm going to ground in grass. I'm going to charge my crystals, things like that. But when it comes to the bedroom, she said, like, now I could be my true self. And that is, and that's kind of violent, actually. And Owen don't always enjoy it. He kind of like goes with it. So he doesn't even know his own wife. Then he says something about his therapy sessions. And like, you know, basically maybe Francesca reminds him of his mother. And they both have strained relationships with their mother or something. So anyways, child, I think I need to start taking better notes. But sometimes things just become clearer as you continue on with the story. So I'm now on 26%. I just entered to 26%. And yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Obviously, there's something with the birds. Obviously, I feel like Eddie knows something. I feel like everyone knows something. Actually, what am I saying? I feel like Eddie knows something. I feel like Bella knows something. I need to look at my notes. I think they all know something, and I'm just left in the dark. I think that's what it is. Because even in like the little journals / flashbacks of Bella and Francesca, basically Francesca also has twin brothers, and they were saying like their sister likes to collect people, like you're just her new plaything. And you know, Bella has like these papers of Francesca and articles and stuff like that. So I'm thinking Bella's the one that left some kind of note that we ain't opened yet, and the bird on their property. And Owen finds it. And I feel like Michelle just always pops up. Like, bitch, why are you always popping up? Why? And I almost feel like, even though she's like the annoying, supportive character, I feel like her role might become more of an importance later. Like, I don't know if she's gonna see something later or she knows something, because she's always in someone's business. I don't know how she always pops up wherever Owen's at. He wants to go get some wine out of the thing that him and his wife owns. Here comes Michelle. Your secret is safe with me. Michelle, bitch, okay. And then he finds a bird. He's like, what the fuck? I found a bird. And it's a fucking bloody bird, like nailed to their door, basically. Or it's on their property anyways, and there's something underneath it. And here comes Michelle. Like, why are you always around? Like, shouldn't you be doing something instead of always around Owen? Like, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Okay, so now I'm starting at 26%, and from what I could tell now, we're on Francesca's chapter. She's already starting an IV of vitamins, a banana bag on her own, because she don't trust anyone to do it. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how this book picks up in the next 25%. So I will see you halfway.
Meet me halfway, right on the board lines, right on the way. For you. Okay, peace out, Girl Scout.
Hey y'all. So I know I said I was going to come back and talk to you guys at 50%, but I was like, I'm just going to keep reading, keep pushing through. I am currently at 67% of this book, and let me just share with you some of my thoughts right now. So pretty much everyone has a secret, and everyone has some sort of connection to each other, whether they realize that or not. And that's kind of what's keeping this story interesting. I just kind of feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of just like over it right now. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be like a 5-star for me personally, because I'm already about to be at 70%, so it has to have something really redeeming in the last 30. But at the same time, I feel like I should have gotten something more by this point. Like, I shouldn't feel like this, pretty much is what I'm trying to say, at 67%. So I'm trying to see, how do I see my stuff? Hold on. See your activity. Yes, please. Okay, now that. So I guess I've been reading this book for 5 days. I started 5 days ago. I just haven't really been wanting to like chomp it down like that. It's just, it's kind of like, I don't know, like they're edging you on, like they're egging you on, like, well, what happened? What happened? What happened? Like, I'm trying to figure out what happened, or what's the secret, or what's the major T that happened 15 years ago, for one. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen at this midnight feast, because I know the day after it's a shit show. Like, so I know that, but I don't know. I still am nowhere closer than I thought I was. I'm like, does this involve like grandpa? Like, does this involve grandpa that we realize or found dead in the very beginning of this book? Like, I don't know. I don't know. How do I see? Can I not see my other stuff? I'm looking at some of the reviews on here, and some people have like DNF'd it at 45%. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, the diary entries, the summer journal. I hate reading the summer journal. I don't know if it's just how grammatically it's written. I don't know if this will be different when it goes live on June 18th. But just how it's written and the dialogue in the summer journal is quite frankly annoying. I hate it. Now, at this point, I dread when I see summer journal. What? Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. I just kind of think there should have been something more. I think at 50%, I should have figured out what happened 15 years ago. And maybe it will all make sense here at the 100 mark, because I'm low-key determined to read all 100% of it. It is an arc. I did see another review who's like, it's official, I've thrown in the towel, DNF at 45%. And they also did get this as an arc the same way I did. And now I kind of understand what they mean, like birds, birds, birds. Right here. So, left a review. I get it, because now I'm like, okay, we got it. Beware of the birds, the black feather, the birds, the birds, the birds. We get it. My God, like, I understand birds mean something. And there's people that are probably dressed up as birds. And so is a part of the birds. I'm sick of hearing about birds. I also think at 50%, I should know what happened 15 years ago. I don't want to keep talking about what happened 15 years ago. You know why? Because I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen at this midnight feast, even though I know it's going to be in flames. I know it's going to be in the flames. I know people are dying. So I think I should know what happened 15 years ago at the 50% mark, because in the last 50, I should need to figure out, well, and help me figure out what is the point of everything. Like, why are we having this midnight feast? You know, why did Bella, that we realized her real name is Allison, you know, what is she trying to do at this midnight feast, honestly? Like, and how did you even find out about this midnight feast? And how does a midnight feast, and how does all this catch on fire? Because you already know previously, because of the fishermen that were that was on their boat, they see it in flames. And then as you go on and you see these detectives and whatever, you find out people have died. But I'm losing, at this point in the book, I'm losing why I should care about whatever happens. There's a scene that happened, and so I guess, like, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler. I'm not really sure how meaningful this had to do with the story, but I'm just going to talk about the spoilers, because at this point, whatever. So there's one part that I'm just like, I do not care about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Or not that I don't care, but it's like, why did that even happen? Like, ew. Like, why did we do that? It's basically, oh yeah, because I was like, what? Was that totally necessary? I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to circle what I'm talking about, but let me click on it real quick. Basically, and then something totally insane happens. I kiss her, or she kisses me. There's a moment we break off, maybe each as shocked as the other. And then we're kissing again. And she's blah, 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 blah. This is between freaking Miss Trunchbull, aka Michelle in my mind, Michelle and Owen. And I don't know if the summer entry is going to explain to me who Michelle is, or how Michelle knows Shrimp, aka Owen. I don't know if that even explains that. I do know that she knows who Shrimp is, because she calls Owen Shrimp. Shrimp is what he went by 15 years ago. That's what I mean by everyone has a tie to each other at one point and another, and point in time, and blah, blah, blah. And is it going to ever explain why that bull was taken from that farm and, like, killed? Like, I don't know. I'm sure it'll explain that in the last bit here, but at this point, I just really don't care too much about any of it. And I think that's why it's taking me so long to get through this, because I'm just like, either give me something more or make this shorter. I don't need to hear about the birds 59 million times. I don't need to read the summer entries a million times. Like, it's an, I don't know, the summer journal entries are what makes me irritated, basically. So I'm at 67%, and we're going to keep trucking along. So I'll probably check back at the end. So yeah. Okay. Let's get you together. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I finished the book. I did. Okay, this is my final check-in for this reading vlog. I just feel like I feel kind of conflicted because I just feel conflicted because honestly, this book was not for me. It wasn't. It just wasn't. I wanted to like it. This just kind of feels like, I don't know, like, I don't know if this is a spoiler because it doesn't really even matter in the grand scheme of things, but like when Owen and Michelle kiss, what is that? Like, for what reason? What was the reason? I'm confused. Like, I remember reading that feeling like, what? Why? Like, why do we go? Why? Just to give Francesca a reason to be mad? But she doesn't really do anything with it. Like, nothing really comes of that. And now that I think about it, like, we see Michelle through other people's POVs in this book. I almost wish she had her own POV. Yeah. I don't know. There's just like a lot to be desired from this book. It's like, basically I will say, like, all the questions you have in the beginning do get answered at the end, but it's just how we got there. I'm just like, I wouldn't even say this is thrilling to me. This is not a thriller to me. This is a mystery, sure. There's things you don't know that you want to know and that you will know. But it's not thrilling in any way. It didn't make me feel like, oh shit, like what the fuck is about to happen? I don't know. Like, no. This is not it. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like all the things that happened, there was a part that happened 15 years ago that I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the summer journals are help to like kind of help you realize like who Francesca and her twin brothers really are. But it just, I don't know. I still feel like something was missing from the character development. Now, let me say this. I'm reading a YA right now. I'm reading Legendborn. And I've read Beholder and stuff like that. I've read YA. And so when people say it reads like a YA, I don't really quite know what they mean by that. And even though like I'm not strictly a YA reader, I'm kind of like, what you mean by that? What do you mean it reads like YA? But like, what does that mean? Maybe I should Google, what does it mean? Because this doesn't read to me like an adult book, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think what was adult about this book. Let's see. Okay, let's just look at Wikipedia for a minute. YA, typically written for readers 12 to 18, on youth. Okay. Okay, let's do the Teen Librarian Toolbox. What you got? Maybe it's the style. Hold on, okay, the voice. The concerns, thoughts, motivations, and feelings are relatable to and targeted to teen readers. The main characters come across as authentic to teen audience community, blah, blah, blah. YA fiction in the moment and faster pace. YA isn't necessarily shorter in page, but is used more efficiently to create a faster pace and often told in present tense and third or first person point of view. sometimes coming of age first, deep questioning. Conflict is autofocus on internal and like what I'm feeling and thinking, and external, what am I doing with the consequences? Okay. Here's what I'm going to say about the style of it. It doesn't feel like an adult book to me. I don't know. Maybe it's missing depth in here. I don't really know. It's so hard for me to put words on what I feel is missing and why I don't like a book. It just really honestly feels like, okay, we got this 15-year-long beef. And maybe it feels YA because of the summer journal entries, because it goes back 15 years ago when these adults were kids, because this whole thing that we're in present day is kind of ties back to what happened when they were teens. And maybe that's why I'm feeling like a YA situation, because I don't think it's written bad. I don't think it's written like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes when people say you could tell it's written YA, I'm like, am I just taking that wrong? I don't know. But I think it feels like that because all of this ties back to what happened 15 years prior. And we're just like, have this 15-year-long revenge, redemption kind of thing. So maybe that's why it feels like that. But yeah, I got sick of hearing about the birds. I got sick of, like, towards the end, it was like it's trying to egg me on. It's trying to say like, and then it kind of flips between the POVs a little faster towards the end. Like some POV pages is like 1.5 or 1.25 pages, and that's it, per how my font size is. Even probably just one page. And I'm just like, can we stay in this POV a little longer? Because in a way, you told me nothing in this POV, or you told me one little thing that doesn't really matter to me anymore. I want to get to the end of it. I want to get to the bottom of it, and I want to get to the why. I still don't quite know why the birds are the birds. I still don't know why. And that kind of what bothered me in the beginning is like, beware the birds, the birds, birds, birds. I get it. Trust. Anyways. I don't know. If you like if you like Lucy Foley's novels, right? Could you please tell me what is your favorite Lucy Foley novel? Because I liked her writing style. I liked how she wrapped up the story. I just don't like how we still went about it. I still don't like it. But I would be more inclined to try another one of her novels because this was not thrilling at all. Mystery, yes. Thrilling, not really. By the time it wanted to be thrilling, I checked out. I didn't care. Just let me see my Kindle tell me that I've reached the end of this. So, yeah.